you want to know the organic cup or the Saalt cup, or rather the Saalt soft cup, which one is best for you? This is gonna be a comparison video of the two because I have used both of them, and spoiler alert, both of them didn't work for me, and so this video is going to be why they didn't work, and hopefully through all of that some pointers for you basically. If you are new here, I mention you are because I don't usually make this sort of content, but I do talk on fashion, sustainable fashion, lifestyle, doing reviews and unboxings and sometimes vlogs and all that kind of stuff. And I guess this video fits into the lifestyle side of things because yeah, my lifestyle, my way of living, this is definitely part of it. So long story short about me, I have been a religious user of pads because honestly that's pretty much probably my mom all knew there was, and so that's what she passed down to me when I was young, and that's what I used until my sister, my younger sister, actually gave me some tips, some insights on using tampons. And I think I wanted tampons because I had become a gym freak at that time and I wanted to comfortably go to the gym basically, and so I tried it and it worked out using tampons. I did come across videos about cups and it was so intimidating. I would just look at the whole thing and say, God forbid that be me, that's crazy. Why? Because I guess the issues I had with it when I was looking from an outside point of view is, number one, the cup looked big, it looked so intimidating, and how on earth was that going to go inside? And secondly, I felt there's a lot of fidgeting involved in, like, you know, putting things inside. Now you are looking at someone who, until I started using the cup, I had never put a finger in there. Let's just put it like this: when I'm on my periods, I really don't like myself. I liked the pad, I just put it on, take it off and change and stuff, but I didn't like the fact that if you move incorrectly, air goes in and you just feel nasty. For me to move to tampons was like a big deal. I found how to do it and several errors and trials, and we got there eventually, and I just like the fact that you just put it in there, set a timer. I literally set a timer every time I put a tampon on, especially for the first 2 days because those are my heaviest days and I don't want any accidents, and I'll take it out. Like, I just got used to the mechanism and how it works, and I was now comfortable with that. But in terms of putting a finger and all of that, like for me that was like the worst thing I could imagine. Like, I just found that really intimidating for me personally. At first was using Tampax Pearl, and then I moved to the organic range by Amazon because I felt it would be better for me, because every time I wore tampon, after and before my periods, how I knew my periods were coming is I will have a crazy yeast infection. Just kind of went on with it and thought, okay, this is fine, it's normal, it happens. But then it got to a time where I just felt like there must be a way around this. Like, there has to be a way around this. And so I started looking for alternatives. And also with the tampon, for me, the string, when I was speaking to someone else, I kind of figured maybe I was doing something wrong with the string. Maybe I was supposed to tuck it somewhere, I don't know. But basically, with the string, I didn't like the fact that if I got toilet, I have to make sure I dry the string. But even when it's dried, for me, I find that it was just there and it was always damp, and I think that was the reason why after I finished my periods I'll always have like bumpy skin and I'll have sort of a rush. And here begins the cup journey. My friend was now raving on about this cup because she had got it and it had worked out for her. We were all on a call and we were like, oh my gosh, like, oh, you did it, oh, how is it, how'd you get it in, how'd you get it out? And pretty much everyone on that call, we went and ordered that cup. When that was the organic cup, pretty much everyone on that call went and ordered the cup, right? Others were curious about it, they'd heard about it, that it had been sent by PR to them, but they were scared to try it, stuff like that. I had never really bought it, but after hearing what she said, I was like, oh, I'm involved. I like the idea of the fact that it's reusable, especially right now in my life. I'm really keen on sustainability, right? My experiences with this cup, okay, are that when I first got it, I found it surprising how stiff, in my view, it was. I found this rubber really thick, but having also now used the Saalt soft cup, this is nothing, honestly. Firstly, this cup for me personally, and I say personally with a big emphasis, because everyone, it's going to be so different for you. So just because it's worked for somebody, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And just because it did not work for somebody, it doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. So honestly, this is a journey, and it's going to be maybe full of trial and errors, but you are going to get to what you love, which I have. It's not the Saalt soft cup, and it's not the OrganiCup. So this is part 1 of 3 videos. So stay tuned, all linked below. This cup was small. This is the smallest cup, I think. And for me, this cup did not last 12 hours. It didn't even make it 4 hours for me. Now, I see a lot of people on YouTube saying they have heavy periods and this lasted this amount of time for them. And that wasn't the case for me. So this whole heavy periods thing, it's so different for everybody. What is a heavy period to one person is probably a light period to another. Now, a light period is a light period. Like, I saw some videos and they were showing real blood, and you can see that, wow, there's barely anything there. It's just little dribbles, like, you know, that's a light period. But when it comes to interpreting a heavy period flow, I think that really needs to be looked into, because what people class as a heavy period is not the case for everybody. So what that meant for me is every 3-4 hours I had to change this thing because it was leaking. So considering I was uncomfortable with taking it out and I was not yet confident with putting it back in, that for me was like an issue. And number 2, again, based on what people were saying, the fact that it's a mess-free experience taking it out, for me it wasn't a mess-free experience, because when you're trying to get it out, when you squeeze the bottom, the contents inside will obviously come up and therefore spill. So for me, it was a 2-job affair and 2-hand affair. So when I finally reached here, break the seal, wiggle down, all of that, it was very, very messy. And meanwhile, everyone else is saying, oh, it's mess-free, everything is in the cup. Other people's testimonies are great, but leave room in there for the fact that you're going to have your own experience. You have your body, which is very, very different to the person next to you, to me, to anyone else. And so you should leave room for your own experience. How to start? I'm going to put a few tools linked in the description below. There's like a quiz you can take to guide you on what cup is best to start with. Do not be worried if this doesn't work out for you, because there's so many other cups and there's so many other things that you can use, not just cups that are reusable as well. My issue is this cup is too firm. I'm okay with the size, but still I felt like maybe I was struggling to get it out because I was doing something wrong, and so I allowed myself some time, some more practice on another cup. Maybe I felt maybe I'll master getting it out. So we swiftly then went and looked for some reviews and people talking about the fact that they also experienced it pushing on their bladder, and this is what they did. And it came across, I took the quiz. That quiz recommended the Saalt soft cup. So they have an ordinary cup, which is probably the same thickness or firmness as the OrganiCup. And then they intentionally came out with a Saalt soft cup because of people who had issues like I've just explained, which is that it was pressing on the bladder, it was uncomfortable in there, etc. It was too firm. So this is supposed to be softer, hence it's called the Saalt soft cup. And so honestly, long story short, it is softer, and it did work in the sense that it wasn't pushing against my bladder, and it was it wasn't having all those issues. However, I had still a huge problem getting the damn thing out. And when I was ordering, I didn't realize that I was actually ordering the size that is bigger than the OrganiCup. And when it arrived, and I realized that was the case, I didn't mind because I thought, okay, cool, well, it's bigger, so therefore I don't need to change it 3-4 hours. And it definitely can take more. It lasted double the time, probably like 6 hours, and then 8 to 9 hours on my like the tail end of my periods. However, my problem was getting it out. Imagine this basically being a hole, and this is how the cup is supposed to be sat in there, like this basically, right? If I have understood correctly, people are saying you should pinch the bottom, okay, and from there you somehow, by doing so, you're breaking the suction, which is what holds the cup up, and then you start to pull down. For me, that did not work. Okay, what worked was I had to put my finger, and bear in mind, I'm not really like so alert, aware, uberly comfortable with the downstairs area. Right now I am like, I'm like, cool, now it's my body, I own it, power to view, all of that, I'm all those things now. But you can imagine when I was trialing all of this, there was a lot of like handling things very delicately, and like before I go and do it, I like mentally prepare myself, because yeah, it wasn't, it's new, it's a new thing, right? So anyway, what worked was having to put my finger up a little bit, and then press, and then press, and then press to break the suction. Once it's finally broken, blood flows out, because obviously I've pressed the cup now and there's blood all over my hands. And then it's a two-hand affair, and then I wiggle it down, and by that time half the cup is empty. So for me, it was not a mess-free experience, and it was just uncomfortable. I went on the market looking for things that do not have suction, basically, because that was my biggest problem. That was my biggest problem with these cups. I found a solution that works amazingly. I know I'm teasing you. I'm just gonna say it now, and that's gonna be part 2 of this series, and that is gonna be all about the Nixit disc, menstrual disc. That's actually not a cup, it's a disc. Now I say that looks intimidating, but girl, for me, whoo, game changer. Let's round up. This video was basically to share with you what was my experience using the OrganiCup and the Saalt Soft Cup. Okay, it didn't work out, but it doesn't mean it's not going to work out for you. Do your research. You know your body, and you know what you're comfortable with. It is very different. The whole blood thing and the whole putting a whole cup in your vagina can be intimidating stuff, and there's so much content. I'm going to link, once again, like I said, links below of videos that helped me, and I think women of color as well, it's important to hear from them, just so you can see if that helps you relate and understand. I think that's very important, seeing it come from somebody that looks like you. And so that was my experience. If I have missed anything, if you would like any more details about anything relating to the OrganiCup and the Saalt Soft Cup, please let me know, comment below. But I'm so happy that I have joined this team of reusable cups, reusable discs, and also it actually works out to be cheaper. The beginning may not be so cheap because you're buying more and trying out different things, but thank God it has worked out for me, because it has worked out for me. That is going to be part 2 of this series. So if you would like to hear how my experience went, how I did with the Nixit menstrual disc, then click on the link below, and let's get into it.